7600. Hi guys, welcome back to the 7600 podcast with your host Madison. And on today's episode, I will be speaking about something that has been weighing very heavy on my heart lately for a while now, but like a lot more lately though, which is the way the world is going. Humanity, society-wise, like everything that's happening is very ugly. I feel like that's the best word to use, I guess, to describe what's going on out here. It's just very ugly, it's very heavy, it's very frustrating, and it's very horrible. Just horrible. But but yeah, so pretty much I wanted to speak about this topic because I I wrote a song about it. For those who don't know, I started writing music a few months ago. Just a little slight work, can't sing, but I can write, do a little something. And I wrote a song about it, and I was like, why not do an episode about it? It's something I feel very strongly about. Like, why not talk about it? And even though maybe me saying what I'm about to say won't change anything in the world, I don't know. But it's just something I've been wanting to speak about. And just looking at the world and the way things are going, I have come to really hate how everything is transpiring. Like social media, the effects of social media on human beings in general, especially the younger generation, my generation, and the generation under me, I think is Gen Alpha, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm Gen Z. Millennials as well. It's even affecting people. Is it Gen X? I think it's Gen X, like my parents' generation. It's affecting a lot of people, social media in general, but I mainly see it with the younger generation. But social media, the economy, I can only speak for the United States because that's where I live. I can't speak for other countries. But the economy in the United States, the government, the files that came out not too long ago, if you know, you know. Just music as well, like entertainment, everything that's happening, it's like things are just getting worse, even with AI. And that's coming from someone who uses AI on a regular. It's just like everything is getting worse, and it seems like nothing is getting better. And even with what's it called, ICE and everything that's happening with them, it just seems like everything is just like a setup in a way. Like the government is setting up a lot of the things that are happening to unfold and make things worse. Like I truly feel like something is coming. And by something, I mean something like COVID. Like COVID was, that'll go down in history. That's not something we'll ever forget about. Even though it feels like COVID is irrelevant at this point. It feels like, oh, well, nobody even talks about it anymore. That was like 5 years ago. It's almost 6 at this point. It feels like it was like forever ago and it doesn't really affect people. But it still does because COVID, it took a lot of people's lives. It changed a lot of things in people's families. And it has changed the trajectory of how the world is going because now, since COVID, companies can say, oh, inflation this, inflation that, so everything's expensive, which makes people spend more money, and then jobs don't pay enough. So then it's like, oh, okay, now people are in debt. So COVID did a lot of damage, and people act like it just didn't exist. Like, oh, it existed. People were wearing masks. We had to stand outside stores. People were dying. All types of horrible things happened. But it just seems like ever since pretty much ever since COVID, it seems like things have gotten worse. And things were bad before that, just not I don't think it was as bad as it was like back then as it is now. And maybe it was, but maybe like social media heightened it. So now we have a glimpse to everything. And when I really look at the world and how things are going, it's like it's just horrible. It's like nothing is getting better, like I said. And I don't want to ramble because I tend to do that. But with the government situation, like I said, I feel like something is coming. I don't know what. I don't know if it's like a famine or some type of war, God forbid, or another COVID, like another sickness or something. I don't know what's going on. A lot of people, prophets, pastors, and people that were like in the military, I've seen videos of different people speaking about leave the United States before 2027, which is literally next year. And I don't know why. I keep hearing that. I've heard that a few times at this point. A few people have said, more than a few people actually, have said leave before 2027. And I'm like, why 2027? Like, what the heck is going to happen before 2027? Like, what do y'all know that we don't know? Or what do you think is going to happen? I don't know. But I truly feel like something is coming. I don't feel like all of this is happening for no reason. Even the files that I mentioned, I feel like that's just a distraction pretty much. Like they're trying to distract us from something else that is going to happen by using that as like a little bit of leverage to like, oh, like let's just distract them for a little bit. You know, they're stupid. They'll just pay attention to that. And then boom, something happens and we completely missed it because we were so busy focused on something that they wanted us to be focused on. Mind you, they're not putting out all the files because a lot of people in politics are involved in all of that stuff. You'd be surprised how many people do crazy things on the low. That's why it's like you don't really know people for real. But anyway, it's just like it feels like everything is so heavy and even like things that seem like they don't matter, they really do matter. Like social media. Social media is making things worse. People are literally walking around living out their lives on camera. They have no type of privacy. People are very entitled. My God, the entitlement is crazy. People will feel entitled to see everything that you do because you live your life online. People are getting online and lying about things. People are getting online and bullying other people, doing horrible things, saying horrible, mean things to people just because they can, because now they have a platform to stand on where their voice is pushed out there into the world. In reality, they don't need a microphone. They don't need to speak publicly because they're being ignorant, they're being racist, they're being rude. Again, also with racism, people are out here treating black people horribly. Not just black people, but I feel like we're treated the worst out of all minorities. I feel like we're treated the worst. But, you know, Hispanic people are being done very, very wrong right now by the government, ICE, everything. And they're not just coming after Hispanics now. They're coming after pretty much anybody, honestly. Like, if I would walk down the street, they could say something to me, and it's like I ain't do nothing. I'm from here, and even though I'm from here, doesn't mean anything to them, you know. So it's just like a lot going on, and I don't really see things getting better. I really don't. It feels like the world is such an evil place, and it's really not even the world. It's the people in the world. In my opinion, everything that's wrong with the world stems from human beings. Everything that is wrong and bad and corrupt and evil and heinous and horrible is from human beings. Women who are R-worded, that stems from another human being. When a child is hurt, stems from a human being. People online bullying other people, it stems from a human being. It's like everything that's wrong with society, with humanity, it's human beings. The things that we make normal are not normal. The lack of integrity that's going on, people doing being over sexualized and putting all of this what's that word, what is that word, being overly promiscuous, like putting that into entertainment and then pushing it out into the world. So now younger kids, like little kids, see this and they grow up with the mindset of like, oh, especially little girls grow up with the mindset of let me be promiscuous, let me get a BBL, let me get some big breast and lip fillers, and you know it makes women feel insecure. And then a lot of men are running around. I'm gonna say from my generation, a lot of men from my generation, they're very feminine. They are very they can be very feminine. Not all of them, of course. I can't speak for every man, of course. I wouldn't do that. But a lot of men are very feminine acting, which is why women call them sassy. And, you know, they're disrespecting women. A lot of them, in my opinion, don't like women, and a lot of them are jealous of women. And now they have a platform to speak on about these things, and they see other men speaking about it. So they think like, oh, let me jump on into it too and say what I want to say. You know, First Amendment, freedom of speech, yada, yada, yada. But just because you have the ability to speak about something doesn't mean you should. It doesn't mean you should. You know, like just because you have a mouth to speak doesn't mean everything that you think you should say. And I don't know how to, I don't think I'll get to the point of like, oh, well, you know, I just don't care. I care about people more than anything else. people are what's wrong with the world, but we could come together and fix it and change it. I don't really see that happening though, because one thing about a lot of people today, they're very selfish and they don't want to take a stand against something. Like even the high prices in the world, everything is extremely high. The cost of living is high, especially in major cities. It's very high to the point where people are broke, busted, and disgusted. People are working three jobs just to maintain. They're not working three jobs and having money left over. They're working three jobs just to get by. Could you imagine going to work, breaking your back at a job you don't even want, at a job you don't even like? You're underpaid, you have to deal with stupid people all day, and then you don't even have enough money to enjoy your life. It's like when I really look at it, it's like, what type of life is that? It's like we're just getting up, going to work just to work, just to work, just to work and work and work. And it's like there's no change, there's no good in that. It's like you're just getting up and going to a job just because you have to. Because, I mean, we need money. We need food so you don't starve to death. You need a roof over your head. You need clean clothes. We need these things. It's necessities. But then it's like we're getting up and going to work just to work, and we're not getting anything great in return. And then even with schools and everything, the government is trying to mess with that too. It just feels like everything is just getting worse and nothing is getting better. And it seems like even like if we, a lot of times it looks like, I can speak for myself, honestly. If I take one step forward, it's like I end up taking 5 steps back. Like something always comes along and messes things up. So then it's like you have to do a million things just to move an inch. 1 inch, it takes a million things. So much hard work just to move an inch. And it's like, why is it set up like this? Like, why is it like this? Why are things happening like this? And it's not just the government. The government plays a huge role in it, like a very big role, but it's us too, as the people on this earth. We can come together and make a change and do something different so things don't continue on the way that they are. I see so many people on TikTok like what's the word to use, like just going, pretty much going off, rightfully so, because they're sick and tired of living the life that they're living. And it's like things just keep going, like it's like a cycle. Like you get up, you go to work, horrible things are happening in the world, and it just keeps going. It's like there's no change, there's no stopping. The rich get richer, the poor stay poor, nothing changes. And it's like, when is this going to end? And then again, like I said, I truly feel like there's something coming. I don't know. I'm not trying to manifest it at all. I'm just giving my God honest opinion. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know what is going to take place, but it just feels like something is coming, and it's not going to be something good. It's not going to be something that benefits the people who are not rich, let me say that, or in cahoots with the government in some way, shape, or form. And I really just sit down and ask God, like, what happened? Like, how did it get to this? And sometimes I really want to know, like, even my tattoo, right? I don't think you guys would be able to see it, but I don't know. That's a little retarded for me to do it like that. I'm trying to like show you guys like how it looks, but I can't tell with the camera. But it's right here on my wrist. It was my very first tattoo. I got Y with the question mark. I got Y. It's short for why is life the way it is. I was too scared to get the whole thing, the whole sentence, well, question, because I thought tattoos were painful. Turns out, depends on where you get it, because none of my tattoos ever hurt. But had I known then what I know now, I would have got the whole thing. But I shortened it to Y just because I was scared. But I got Y because for me, I am a very curious person. I have questions about almost everything, like almost everything. And a lot of the questions I have, only God can answer those questions. They're not questions that a human being can answer. You can try to answer it, but you really can't for real. Not my questions, let me say. Not all of them, of course. But for why is life the way it is, I really look at the world and how things are and God himself. And I know we're not supposed to question God, but sometimes I really do wonder. And I'll sit down and talk to him and be like, God, why is this happening? Like, why are things going the way they are? Because even when I read, I don't remember what book it was, But there's a verse in the Bible. I low-key want to say it was in Exodus, I think. I think it was Exodus, but don't quote me. It says something like God said he will punish people up to the third and fourth generations based on like their parents' actions. So it's like, why do I like if my dad or my mom was to do something bad in the world, right? Why would myself or my child be affected by that? Like, why do we have to reap the consequences of what someone else did? I didn't do it. So why do I have to reap the consequences of what someone else did? You know, stuff like that. Like questions like that. Like, why are certain things happening? Why did God set the world up to be like this? Even when it comes to slavery, like I really, really wonder what the world would be like today if black people had the power. If black people had the way white people have power and white privilege and the things that go on and the things that they do, the justice system, everything, if we had that power as black people, what would the world look like today? I really ask myself that, and sometimes I wish I could see like a movie of how things would play out. I don't think black people are cruel in the way that white people were back when they were doing the things that they did, because they did some horrible, heinous things, but we ain't gonna get into that. But I don't think black people would do those things. I can't speak for everybody, but I just don't really see that happening. But I even asked God, like, why did you allow slavery to happen? And again, I'm not mad at God. I'm not trying to be like God is wrong, because God is never wrong. God is perfect. I know that. But sometimes I really do wonder, like, why did he allow the world to end up like this? Like, why are things playing out the way they do? Why do children get hurt? Why do certain things happen? And I understand certain things, not everything. Like a lot of times we put ourselves in situations and then don't realize that you're facing your own karma. And then people will question God, like, well, God, why did you allow this to happen to me? And it's like, well, you put yourself in that situation. You probably feel like you don't because you lack accountability. But a lot of times we put ourselves in bad situations and then question God. That's not the case in what I'm saying. I truly feel like I know God can do whatever he wants to do. So sometimes I just wonder, like, why did he allow this to happen? Because there's just so much chaos and corruption in the world and so much evilness. And I just really wonder, like, why? Why did God allow this to happen? Hence my tattoo. So I don't know where things are going to go from here. And even thinking about it, like, even thinking about my own life when it comes to, I was having this conversation with, I think, my mom not too long ago, when it comes to having kids. And I see so many women on TikTok talking about, like, ooh, don't have kids, don't have kids. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm low key like leaning more towards that now. Because coming from me personally, I was in, I want to say seventh grade. Yeah, I was in seventh grade, coming up with names for my kids. Mind you, I was a baby coming up with baby names because I was like, what, 12 in seventh grade? I was a child coming up with names for my kids. And now it's like, do you even want kids? Like, it just seems like a lot. And it just doesn't seem like a safe world to bring children into. And it just seems like so much. Like, having a child today, God forbid I was to get pregnant today, right? I would be sad. I would be so I would be so sad. And I know we're supposed to replenish. I know we're supposed to have children. I know that. It literally says in the Bible we're supposed to have kids. It doesn't say that exactly, but don't quote me. I whatever. But but yeah, so I know we're supposed to do that, but it just doesn't seem safe. Like, the world is not a safe place, and it just doesn't seem, it's not desirable to have kids anymore for me personally. I do still want kids. It's just not desirable when I think about it. When I really sit down and think about life, my own life, the world, how things are going, and how everything is so unpredictable because it seems like every day it's something bad that happens and it just makes things worse. It's like, okay, is it even a good idea to bring a child into this horrible place that we call Earth? because it literally feels like hell on earth sometimes. Like it really does. It just feels like you're not safe to go outside. You have to, as a woman, for me personally, I need to stop saying that. But like, me personally, but as a woman, just to walk outside, it just feels like you have to be on 10, like looking around, make sure like nobody's gonna try to hurt me. Like a man is not gonna try to run up on me or do something to me. There's sex trafficking everywhere. It's like so much that goes through my mind. And I really want the world to be a safe place. I really want things to get better. I really want things to change, but I don't see that happening. I really don't. And I really just wanted to speak about that because I know I'm not the only one. I see so many people on TikTok talking about this, so many people. And I always sit down and listen to what they're saying because I'm like, you have a point. You have a good, you're so right. Like it just feels so heavy. Like everything just feels heavy. And I feel like we shouldn't allow it to bring us down and make us feel like, oh, there's no good in the world. There's good in the world. There's good people somewhere where, I don't know. There's good people somewhere. There's great opportunities that won't turn out to be horrible. There are people that won't snake you. There are great things that will happen in your life. But sometimes it just feels like it's so much. And it's like, I really be wondering, like, oh my gosh. I sit down and I'm like, why did the world turn out to be like this when it's time for me to be an adult? When it's time for me to be an adult, everything is mad expensive and everything is so tainted. Like, why did I have to be an adult at this time? Like, why can't I have been an adult back in the 90s, like when things were a little more simple, It's like, why did I have to be born at that time? It's low key a joke, but there's a little bit of seriousness in there when I say that. But yeah, so pretty much that's what I wanted to speak about, just the trajectory of how the world is going. And I really want to see a change. I really wish we could all come together. By all, I mean, I'm going to just say for the United States. I wish everybody in the United States who is affected by the government, by inflation, by anything bad, to come together and just take a stand against what's happening and let these people know, like, we're not going to continue to stand for this. Because without us, y'all can't make any money anyway. It's like, I just really wish there could be a change. Not even just with everything I just said, but even online with social media. Like, I deleted my Instagram because I got so sick and tired of seeing so much crap on Instagram and falling into the negativity. And even the whole comparison thing, like it started to affect me personally too. Like I would look at other people that are in my age range and feel like I'm so happy for them that they're happy in their life because that's what I want to see. But at the same time, I'm like, I want that too. Like I want to be, one of my biggest things I want to do in life is travel. And it's like I want to be able to get up and travel. I want to not go to a job cuz working sucks. Not working, but working for people cuz people will drive you crazy. And again, like I said, these jobs don't pay. And it's just so much and it's like it just weighs you down sometimes. Not just me, but a lot of people I've been hearing. And yeah, just seeing people online and seeing how they're living their lives. By the way, social media is fake. I know that. I know that. But sometimes it can get to you and it's like, when is it going to be my turn? You know? And then looking at everything else that's going on, it's like, oh my gosh, it's just like all so much and so heavy and frustrating. And I just really want there to be a change, but I don't know if that's ever going to come. And I don't know how things are going to go, but here we are. I hope some type of structure comes about at some point in time, sooner than later, but only God knows and only time will tell. But yeah, so pretty much that's what I wanted to get on here and speak about. I was trying not to ramble because I have so much to say about this, but I didn't want to make this too long and I didn't want to like stretch it out like too much and be all over the place. So yeah, but please guys, go ahead and like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, if you agree with anything I said, if you disagree. let me know, because I always want to hear people's opinions about what's going on in the world, because again, it just seems like there's so much from the past years up until the present, and then even what you think might happen in the future as well. So yeah, yeah, but go ahead and like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought, and I hope to see you guys soon. I'll talk to you later. Bye.